Good evening, and good evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start my show, regardless of whether anyone is here or not. If anyone is logged in and you're on, I appreciate anyone and everyone who has joined us and those who are joining us on the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube channel, and that channel is up and running. And if you haven't supported it, I am asking you if you could go out and support my channel, support the content, and if you can, click and subscribe. Click and subscribe. Click on the click on the notification bell of my YouTube channel. It's a real deal chat with Neil, and I want to thank those of you who have joined us today. I know you have other things you could be doing on a Monday night. But if you're here to join us, I really appreciate those who have joined us today. And I'm going to start the show because, again, I have to do this content. I am going to post it on the YouTube chat, on the YouTube channel. And yeah, this is the Real Deal Chat with Neil. I want to thank those of you who have joined us and who have supported us or supported me along this journey of mine to bring you things that we haven't talked about in the public, we haven't discussed, that we avoid. Every week I try, at least try to do that every week. Sometimes it's very difficult because my schedule and running around so forth. But this is something that I'm passionate about when it comes to relationships and dealing with things that we don't usually deal with on a daily basis. This entire thing is new to me, but the concept of talking is not, and sharing messages and giving my insight. Those of you who know me know that I like to share my opinion, whether sometimes asked or not. But most times when I'm asked, I'll share my opinion and give you my best advice necessary. Over the past few years, I've had the opportunity. Um, Thank you to many people who have asked me for their advice and to share what I know and my knowledge and so forth. They've seen me in relationships, and they have always said, Neil, if you can share your knowledge and this and that. And I've shared it, and over the years, after sharing it, I've had people ask me to either write a book or start a show of stuff. Writing a book, well, kind of difficult, but it's not impossible. But I always say writing a book for me would be difficult because I would have to share parts of my life that I don't want to share. And when you're writing a book, you have to be honest, you have to be straightforward, you have to be open about your life and what you're doing and who those around you in your life. And I always take the segment from um, that movie. Oh man, what's it called? Um, the Gentleman. No, no, no. Oh, jeez, that movie with Tay Diggs, where he wrote write a book, and it affected so many lives around him. I would don't mind writing a book. In fact, I probably will do it one day when I really don't give a damn. But for right now, um, you know, I would affect so many lives around me negatively. It wouldn't. The purpose of writing the book would not weigh the pain it might cause some other people around me. For that reason, I have chosen this path as opposed to writing a book. Because again, one of the things I learned when I studied about writing and writing a book and so forth, you have to be honest about every aspect of your life. You have to be honest about the pain. You have to be honest about the those things that you want to hide, those things that might hurt other people. You have to be honest, and I'm not there yet, but I'm here. And when I say I'm here, I mean I'm at a point where I can ask questions. I can tell you about my life, but a book would have to include people who have positively and negatively impacted my life. And there's certain things about my life that I would have to be honest about, straightforward about, that might affect or those that are near and dear to me. And I'd rather keep that for right now. Now in the future, I don't know. But for right now, yes, I am going to keep that private, only because I want it's not that I don't want to share that aspect of my life, but I want to make certain that if I share it, I'm honest about everything and very direct about everything. And you know, the purpose of writing a book is also a therapeutic and a cathartic thing. And for me, writing a book right now wouldn't serve that purpose. It would only make things a little more difficult for others. For me personally, I can tell you anything about my personal life. I have no problems with it. But part of my growth and part of who I am today involves other people who are near and dear to me, and I am not at that level yet where I'm comfortable doing that. In any ways, welcome to a Real Deal Chat with Neil. I'm your host, Neil the Real Deal. Every week I try to do this, and I really try to get the content out, but it's sometimes very difficult. I'm not giving up. Every time I say I'm gonna give up on this and not do any more of this, and it's like, nobody really care. I have somebody who reach out and say, "Hey Neil, where are you? You haven't posted anything. You haven't said anything. You haven't did a live chat and so forth." And so I end up going, okay, I thought they aren't even watching. I thought nobody's even listening, but apparently some people are. So for that reason, I am here again. And even if no one is listening, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to post what I need to post, and I'm going to share what I need to share. I'm not giving up on this world. I'm not giving up on my Jamaican community, my American community, my Black community. I always say my ancestors paid way too much to get us where we are. So I am going to do and add my part to it wherever I can. If I can change one life, that one life is worth saving. And so, yes, I'm going to do this as much as I possibly can. So what's on Neil's mind this week? Before I start the show, let me just say this. This is what I call my housekeeping rules. Remember, we only deal with rules. We don't deal with exceptions. The rule makes the rule. The exception don't make the rules. So when I say something, one of the things people love to say is, well, there are a certain segment that does as well. Yeah, well, I'm not talking about the segment that does. I'm talking about the majority, and the majority makes the rules. Also, no offense to those who are not heterosexual, but I only speak for heterosexual males and those who are seeking relationships, stable, progressive, flourishing relationships. I can't speak for those who are not looking for relationships and not looking to maintain what they have and keep it and protect it and make it grow. I can only speak to those who are listening, those who are in need, those who want to ask questions to get the right answers. My job is not to be a life coach. It is to help you and guide you on your way based on my experiences, and however it helps you is great. I've been doing this for years. I just started doing this online for the world to see, but I've been having these conversations for years. Most of these conversations I have sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes for hours. And it took my wife to say, enough of you just doing it one at a time. Why don't you just do something and let everybody watch it, read it, whatever, and ask questions online so everybody can see it. So I did decide to do so. She is my muse. So no offense to anyone else. What I do here is the uncomfortable conversations that we need to have, that we don't, that we try hard to avoid, and then allow it to destroy our relationships. That's what happens. Whether it's family, friends, employment, siblings, whatever the case may be. We have relationships that we deal with on a daily basis, just our social status of just dealing with each other. So I talk about these things and I try to address them, and hopefully people will learn something from them. And I've seen people destroy each other and destroy relationships without dealing with the true, without dealing with the truth and the unvarnished, truth about life. I try to wash away, those things that we say and do to protect our pride and our families and so forth that end up destroying us anyway. But what most people are afraid to talk about, I am willing to talk about. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to A Real Deal Chat with Neil. I'm your host. Yes. So I said, hell or high water, I'm going to do my show regardless whether there's one people or 1,000 people. And obviously, there's not many people, if any, on right now. But I'm still going to do my show. And welcome to A Real Deal Chat with me. See, I have my libation. And I am here, you know, I'm here to welcome those who jump in and jump off. I have a few people to do that all the time. And that's fine. But I'm going to do my show. And that's what we do here. We don't, you know, we don't skip it whenever nobody is watching on TV, they still have them show, right? So guess what? I'm still going to do my show. So let's talk about today's topic. Today's topic. Do we really deal with the issues straightforward when it comes to relationships? Do we deal with what happens in our relationship when it comes to cheating, going up outside the marriage, and so forth? Are some of us too quick to end what we have worked so hard in life to put together because of something that someone makes, a mistake or whatever that may be? Are we too quick to end something that may be just as natural as drinking water? That's the question out there. Some of us, work so hard to build a relationship, and we'll build a relationship, build a foundation, build a house, have the kids and have the family. And then the second something happens, we're quick to end the relationship because of what we consider a betrayal of our trust. That is the main question I will propose today to my audience. Can you be everything to your significant other to ensure complete happiness? Is that even possible, ladies and gentlemen? So you're in a relationship. Starts out great. You guys are dating and things are going so well. You're having a good time. Date for about, a few months, everything good. Things are perfect. You're clicking well. And then, you start interacting intellectually, then physically. He dresses debonair when you go out. She dresses sexy as hell. And then it gets physical. The sex is beautiful. Guys are connecting on every level, connecting both kinetic and, your soulmate. You feel like this is the one. Your love turns into talking about the future. And you start talking about the future. You think, where have you been all my life? Then, one day, you get married, you commit, you probably pop out a couple of kids for each other. Things are going well. You have this big wedding, everybody's there. They see you, you're beautiful, you're dressed well. The guy's dressed well, she's dressed. I mean, people just love the energy and love the love, like they said to our marriage one time. Then you start living lives. When they see you, they think, you guys are a nice couple. You're a perfect couple. You eventually get so deep where your kids are raised and you're doing so well and you're in love. Still in love, but things kind of start getting stale. This is real life we're dealing with. This is real life. Things get complicated. It's, working so hard, you hard to get to see each other as you used to. You're raising kids, you're busy with the kids, you're busy with work, you're busy with parental, parent teachers meetings. He's working triple time, triple overtime just to keep, a roof over your head. Or she's working double shifts. Then things get a little stale. So on a daily basis, you come home and food is on the table, whether he cooks, she cooks. You eat, you talk about your day, talk about good time. You take a couple of vacations. Rekindle ever so often, you rekindle a romance, but it's not where it used to be. It's not where it used to be. And one of you start noticing. No, the other one, typically one notices it before the other. And even if the other one does notice, there's not much they can do about it because, hey, listen, we have to keep our roof over our head. There are more important things in our marriage, right? Is there? Is there? Is there more important things than what you are building? People believe that working hard and taking care of family and all that is the most important part of a relationship. So you go on a daily basis, come home too late, miss a couple meals with each other. That's how it usually starts. So you start eat before and after each other. She's sitting on the couch eating in bed already, or vice versa, because you work different hours. The attention goes where it's no longer there. Things aren't sexy anymore. They're nice, but they're not sexy. So you're at work, and some of the things that you're doing goes unnoticed at home, but not at work, because you're at work for hours. Sometimes some of us spend more time outside working than we are at home, and then someone notices, and they start noticing the unpolished you. They start picking up on your new hairstyle. If there's a guy, how he dresses nice, how he conducts himself, they start seeing some of the things that you saw. They start picking out and seeing some of the things that were attractive to you. And so they start complimenting your significant other. And at first you probably take it, it's just be somebody being nice. I appreciate them being nice. I'm appreciating them giving me a little attention. But the attention graces a little bit further, goes a little further. And then they start noticing more about you, things that your spouse or your significant other doesn't notice, giving you the compliments that you were supposed to get at home that you used to get when you first met and things were going well. Before you know it, I'm like, hey, what are you doing for lunch? Oh, I'm not doing anything. What are you doing? Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to lunch. Let me take you to lunch, or let's go have lunch together. And you decide to have lunch together. They start noticing things about you that your spouse used to notice. They start pointing out things that you used to hear from your spouse. The good, great side about you, the attractive side about you. Before you know it, you're having more than just conversations. You're like, oh, where are you on the internet? Oh, you're on social media. You're on Facebook. Oh, yeah. Okay. Then they start looking through your pictures and start liking them. You like the attention. It's fun. It's attractive. You start liking back their pictures. Notice I have not said what gender this is yet. Because most of you are gonna jump right on the bandwagon. I mean, right? You're gonna jump right there and just say, it must be a male you're talking about. No. This happens to females more than you think. Happens to both genders, actually. You get caught up in the attention because you haven't been getting it so often from your significant other. And you decide, they're like, oh, we hang out on Fridays after hour. It'd be nice if you show up. It'd be nice if you're there. Why don't you come? You turn away first. You're like, no, I can't. No, I'm busy. Blah blah blah. The kids, and yeah, I gotta come home to the spouse. And so one week, the first Friday you come home, spouse not really there and gone working, or the kid's not there. You're like, shoot, I'm home, bored. Nobody's here. Thought I was coming home to a spouse. I'm talking about to come in. Yeah, ask your spouse. Let's go out on a Friday. No, I'm too tired, man. I'm way exhausted. I can't do this. Way too exhausted. Okay. So you miss your spouse. Second Friday. Hey, we're going out enough. Happy hour. Come on. Like, no, I'm married. I don't want to put myself in that situation. No, 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 no. It's not for me. So again, you say, next time. But I have to go home to my spouse. You go home, spouse is not there. They're working late hours. Or they're there, but they have time for you. They're doing other things, have other things for work, take care of the home, whatever. The kids. You're like, I could have stayed after work. An hour or two would not kill me. So the third time you're at work, person see you walk by your office, walk by your desk. You're looking absolutely amazing today. Can I say that? I'm sorry if I'm not offending you, but I just gotta tell you, you really caught my eye today, and I appreciate you. And then they walk away. And then here you not getting the attention at home. Somebody you really, really was into, they're not showing you the love. You even ask them to spend more time, they're not spending more time with you. You're not getting the attention you're used to. You're giving out the signals, you're telling them how great they are, but they're not giving it back to you at home. Not because you get the attention, you start making, you start paying attention to how you dress at work. You want to make certain say, hey, this person is giving me the attention, might as well, put myself together, wear extra little thing to continue getting those compliments, and you continue getting those compliments. Then the Friday comes again. Hey, it's Friday. We had such a great time last week. All your coworkers come around. Yeah, it was so much fun. We had shots, we drank, and we went home early. We didn't stay out late. We just stayed out like an hour or two, but it was one of the greatest. Oh, it was so much fun. And you're like, I missed it again. Yeah, we're going out on this Friday again. So you're like, okay, I'm waiting for my spouse, my significant other, to give me the compliments I want, the attention, the time. You don't get it. You give the best of you with them. You're there. You give them compliments. You give them attention. They're busy. They appreciate it, but they're busy with what they have to do. Excuse me. And here goes your coworker, giving you all the attention you need, exactly what you asked for at the exact time. Now you've been yearning for this attention at home. You used to get it. You used to love it. You used to revel in it. And here you are, not getting it anymore at home, but getting it at work. He's liking all your pages. She's that's giving you the attention and that you need. She's saying how great you look today. He notices your hair, the beautiful nails that you just had done. He says, oh, by the way, is that a new purse? I haven't seen you with it all year. Oh, yes, it is. I bought it on sale, blah, blah, blah. What can I say? It goes well with what you're wearing. You look absolutely gorgeous today. You're walking through the hallways as a man. She stops and says, who smells so good? Is that you? Wow. I love how you smell today. You smell absolutely amazing. You surely made my day with that cologne. So he's all happy, in the greatest mood. And then, male or female, hey, we're meeting up today and again. We had such a great time a few times. You should come. If you're not doing anything, come by. You're like, damn it. Nothing is going on at home. Why the hell not? I've given up everything. I've constantly coming home every Friday, every day. I'm there every day. I give my best, whatever. I'm asking you to my spouse to go out on dates, go on out happy hour. Let's go enjoy ourselves a little bit like we used to. But they're always busy working, or they're home telling me that there are things that needs to be done at home. No, we don't have time for that. So you said, what the hell? What is there to lose? So you go on to the happy hour. Just a couple of drinks. What is there to lose? You go on the happy hour, have a couple of drinks. There, you guys are just looking at each other. Every so often, you guys are looking at each other, and you're laughing. You're laughing at each other's jokes. Everybody is there, but you two are connecting somehow. You start to feel that kinetic energy that you felt when you were dating your spouse. You start seeing that twinkle in each other's eyes. You're like, oh my God. Wow. And then you start laughing at each other's jokes and smiling at each other when nobody notices. But you two are just connecting. Before you know it, it's a full on emotional connection. And then that emotional connection, couple of happy hours, leads to a physical connection because you're walking to each other's to their cars. Nobody's watching. Like, oh, can you drive me to my car? Sure. Your car's on the other side. Let me drive you. You drive to each other's car. And then that Friday, you unburden all your pain at home, all your lacking at home, all that you're missing at home. You unburden it to them. They hear you out. They feel a certain empathy or sympathy. Maybe they've been through it before. Maybe they're going through it themselves. And before you know it, they're connected to you. And you're like, what the hell? I'm coming back next week. And you're like, yes, let's go back next week. You go back next week, but not everybody's there. It's just you two. It's okay. We'll just connect and we have a good time. You start having a good time. And before you know it, start having a great time. Start complimenting each other. You start realizing that there's a connection there. There's, how come we've never noticed this before? I feel you understand me. You know exactly where I'm coming from. I feel such an ease talking to you. Why is that? Because we have a connection. Yes. That soulmate feeling again. Remember you felt it before? Yeah, you're feeling it again. Soulmates. This can't be wrong. We're connected. And then, before you know it, you're walking to each other's to the car and you hug and you hug and you hug and you don't let go the hug. And you're like, why are we not letting go? And you're like, I don't know. Why are we not letting go? So long since I've gotten a hug this deep where I can connect with you. And then before you know it, you're like, all right, bye. Ah, this is so hard. Bye. Before you know, you turn and kiss. You're like, what did we just do? Oh my God, I can't believe we just did that. Oh no, 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 we can't do this. We can't do this. And now you're in a full-fledged new relationship. Is there a certain level of guilt? Of course. But that guilt is easily justified when you get home. You're trying to reconnect because you feel that guilt that you're trying to reconnect with your spouse because you don't want this. You don't want this to get to this point. How did we get to this point? But you're there. And you get home and you're still not reaching out. You try your best. You're like begging this person to understand where you are. Listen, we're missing something here. Blah 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 blah. Oh, you nag too much. Oh, you're asking for too much. You know where this is headed. That's why you're reaching out. You're trying. You're pleading for this person to take you seriously, but they're not. For some reason, they're not taking you seriously. So what happens next? You're like, I've done everything. I've done my part. I've reached out to you. I've done everything and whatever. And you went back, go back to work. You guys eye each other in the workplace. And the guilt is there. And then he sends you or she sends you a message. I'm really sorry about Friday. And you send back, yeah, I know that we went a little bit too far. Yeah, yeah. But I can't say I hated it. I really loved that connection. And you sit there and think about it. Wow, they actually enjoyed me. They actually enjoyed my presence. It meant something to them. I've heard that forever. So you send back, I wish I could say I hated it, but I loved it too. I really felt a connection, but can't do this anymore. You're absolutely right. Let's just keep it distance. And before you know it, it's Friday again. You're out again. You're out there together again. Because you love the Fridays. I'm not at home. And you connected again. Then you're in a full-fledged affair. Because you start messing with each other fully. Because you're like, not getting at home. So how do we get there? Your spouse eventually finds out. Mistakes are always going to be made. They always find out. And then they feel pain. They feel betrayed. They feel hurt. They feel like how could you do this to me? How many of you think I'm talking about a man? Not talking about a man, by the way. Talking about both genders. Because this happens a lot more than anything. So you find out that they are cheated. You're the spouse at home. It's been busy working, that hasn't really paid attention to your significant other, and they are out there with someone else. And you find out. Now you question, who is this person? This person that said they love me for the rest of their life. How could they do this to me? How could they hurt me? This person said you are their everything, and then they ended up cheating on you. How could they do this? Your pain is real, Not like there's any question about your pain. Your pain is real. The betrayal is real. Then your hurt turns into anger, then rage. Not only are your spouse or your significant other, but the person that they're with, because you want to find out who, and you want to know why. You do all your CSI moves to find out why this person did this to you. How could they be so selfish to destroy my family after I've worked so hard to build it to this level? They start questioning yourself, but questioning yourself usually is a quick thing. Most people don't question themselves more, but a lot of times they don't think they're the reason. So you jump right back from questioning yourself right back into your depressive state and anger and rage. You don't say, am I good enough? You say, this person is wicked, and I'm going to make them pay. So at that point, you're looking for not only retribution, you're looking for revenge. Do I confront the other person, though? Do I fight for what is mine? Do I leave? Do I kick the person out? Do I burn their clothes in their favorite car like Bernadine in Waiting to Exhale? Most people never get over the violation of a betrayal of trust when it comes to cheating. They allow the pain and the emotion to make the decision for them. But is there a right way to handle this? Are we handling it right? Because a lot of marriages, 70% of marriages that end in divorce, a lot of them they claim is through infidelity. But is it really true infidelity, or is it something that we were lacking in the relationship, that was missing in the relationship, that we ignored? More times than none, a lot of our problems and our pains are being addressed. Our issues of why people cheat is actually blatantly in front of us. We just refuse to pay attention to it. Most people I have spoken to that have had someone cheat on them, but very rarely. I mean, there are times, of course, most times there are times where the person is just a cheater. That's what they do. That's who they are. But for most relationships where that ends in divorce because of cheating, it's usually, especially if there's a marriage that was fun and flourishing, typically there's a time when things go awry, where people are not being attended to, and their needs are being ignored, and that's where we go wrong every time. We don't pay attention to when we do wrong or when things go wrong. We only pay attention to the end result, to what occurred to us, how it got to there. I mean, you look at Will and Jada right now, how they're still together. I'm shocked that they're still together, but she cheated. She calls it entanglement, but it's cheating. But they saw the bigger picture. Will said he wasn't sufficiently the man he's supposed to be, and she said she was lacking and missing something that Will wasn't providing. I didn't like the way she did it, but I understood it. Are we acting like, you know, are we saying to ourselves that we're going to be completely everything for another to another human being for the rest of their life and don't expect them to make any mistakes or go and get it whatever it is outside the marriage? Is that even possible as human beings? I think it's impossible, but what do you think? There's a lady called Susan Welsh that she wrote a book called the 10 10 10, life transforming whatever. But she explained it best, and I'm going to play that video for you. That sometimes it's best for us not to make rash decisions when it comes to life changing. Um, whenever there's life changing decisions to be made in our lives, sometimes it's best to not make a quick decision. Sometimes we have to use the 10 10 10. We have to use the 10 10 10 principle when it comes to making life, you know, those decisions that might change your life so drastically. And I'm going to play that video because I realized after looking into her and looking into her book and so forth, I realized there was something there. Do some of us make these decisions without thinking about the long-term ramifications on those decisions? Are we too rash when it comes to relationships in making certain decisions? This is Susan Welsh.
Hi, I'm Susie Welch, and I'm the author of 10-10-10. 10-10-10 is very simply a life management tool. It is a device that helps you sort out those decision moments in your life that are messy. So it's not for the simple decisions, yes, no decisions. It's for the really complicated decisions that you are having trouble figuring out the answer to. You sort out the options in 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years. The right decision, amazingly, seems to flow right from there. So 10-10-10 is a way to change your approach to life from impulsive or reactive to deliberate. I started using 10-10-10 after a completely disastrous business trip to Hawaii that I was dumb enough to bring my children on. I was trying to make everyone happy, which is not an uncommon phenomenon with working mothers. It was a disaster. And my life, I realized at that point, was spinning out of control. I was trying to do it all, which is an impossibility. And one morning when I'd been up all night after giving a speech and taking care of one of my kids who had gotten really sick, I just sat on the porch, and as the sun rose, this idea came to me about a way to keep my life in order. It was like a lifeline thrown to me, and I think it was the beginning of a new life for me. When I started to write 10-10-10, I kept on finding that there were moments to bring my own story into it. I'm married to Jack Welch, who is a well-known businessman. He used to run GE for 20-some years. He's now retired, and we have a weekly column together that runs in Business Week and the New York Times Syndicate in 50 countries. I myself am busy all the time because I have a couple of different jobs, and we have managed to bring these two lives together. Your life can actually be more joyful if you have a framework for making your decisions. 10-10-10 is a vehicle for that. One of the most unbelievably gratifying experiences of my entire life was the research that I conducted before I started to write the book. I traveled around the country and I met 13 women and 2 men who have used 10-10-10 to transform their lives. I would come home from these interviews and I would say to Jack, if I was the greatest novelist in the world, I couldn't make up these stories. I've come to love my 10-10-10ers. When I see an email pop up from one of them, it makes my day. I want the book to be like a great friend. 10-10-10 has so improved my life. I want to share that.
Okay, so why did I show that video? Now, you might not want to read the book, but I want you to listen to the principle of what she's saying. She's saying that sometimes we probably need, when we are making these decisions, we're making life-changing decisions, to take a moment before making those decisions, especially when it comes to something we've built for so long, to ensure that we foresee or project what things will be or what the ramifications of those decisions will be in the first 10 minutes, the next 10 months, and the next 10 years. A lot of you have gotten married, you've built a relationship, you built everything, and then you're so quick to end it. You don't think of the ramifications of your own life in the long run. You don't know if you'll have this person, this type of person that you have that you've built so much for, and you feel, oh, they'll never, no, but he's just the worst person in the world. And you know what? Out there is a better person than him. She's just a wicked woman for do that to me. And you know what? There's another woman out there that won't do this to me. Not realizing that, well, maybe you are the catalyst for what the person is. What if it's just you are the person who created that environment for that person, no matter who you brought in? That would be the result of it. See, most people don't think that way. Most people don't even think about that. And that's where 10, 10, 10 goes play. Because you think to yourself, if I bring somebody into this, my life after this, because most people are in relationships and marriages, typically they look for another marriage after. They say they won't, but typically they do. We're human beings, and that's just how we're made. We usually make the same mistakes over and over too. So a lot of times, if we don't learn from what we're doing now, we're susceptible to repeating it. So what this does is gives you an opportunity to think, in 10 minutes, if I break up this person, what will happen? Fight, argue, blah, blah, blah. The pain will be real. I'm, feel certain level of justification. In 10 months, where will I be? Okay, I'm going to be fighting for custody, going back and forth about the divorce. If we got through the divorce and it's over, starting over, getting, explaining this to my kids, explaining this to my family, whatever. In 10 years, will you be able to find somebody just like that? Or will you find somebody and deal with the same consequences? Will you be married again? With this person, would you have learned what you needed to learn about yourself to make this other person a prime person to be with? See, and that's why I love the principle of this book. I haven't fully read it yet, but I ordered it and I'm going to read it. Our grandparents went through decades of dealing with all kind of disruptive things in their relationship, but they got through it. Most people, it's so funny. Most of our grandparents had 30, 40, 50 years together, and we can't even deal with 5. The second something goes wrong, the whole we just want to end it. We just want to end the relationship. Nobody wants to look at somebody and say, okay, you made a mistake, but how did I participate in your way, your decision making? Now, if you find out that you did everything and you did everything right, and you gave the person opportunity to tell you what the issues are, and you didn't work on it, you can look at yourself and say, hey, I did not listen to you. You did tell me to time after time, let's go out, let's spend some time together, and you found somebody else to do it with. I need to take full responsibility for it. And then you have to make the decision whether you can change or let that person go, because sometimes you have to just let the person go. It's an option. But some of you shouldn't be in relationships, to be honest with you, because you can't coexist with another human being. And others, you need therapy. You can't coexist with another person. I'm sorry. Because you're selfish by nature. You're just into you and how you need, you have to have your needs met without reciprocating. See, I see relationships this way. I see it as you're building a cabin in the woods. It's made of wood. And you have to create the greatest foundation. Nice foundation. It's strong. It's sturdy. It's exactly what you like. It's warm. Then you start building the walls, and the walls are made of wood, and you start building it around it. But if not treated, see, a lot of you build these walls for this cabin. You don't treat it. It's unvarnished. You think, I'm building it. It's built. It's mine. So it's going to work itself out of school. But you don't realize that there are other things. There are external factors that might affect the durability and the longevity and the strength and the sturdiness of your cabin. Then you put on the roof. Okay, you get married. Put on the roof. You think you got it together. Foundation is strong. You met. You're strong. You hook up. You have a nice foundation. Then as you go along, you built it as you go along, but you forgot to treat it. You forgot it needed treating ever so often. You have to constantly take care of it, constantly maintain the walls. And then one day, because of your lack of doing so, there's a hurricane, snowstorm, breeze, high winds, and your walls start giving away because you're not treating it anymore. Your roof is there. In other words, you're still married, but your walls of your marriage is falling apart. And some of you with the braggadocious behavior, oh, it's supposed to stand. What am I supposed to? I already did hard work. I put it together. What is there to do after this? But then it starts falling apart and you're not understanding why. Termites start eating it away and you're wondering, how the hell I put this together? And then you find out, say, oh, it's breaking apart. And what a lot of you do, you get a sledgehammer and start destroying everything. Talk about, oh, if it's going to be like this, I don't want the whole house. I'm going to start over again. And you move and you leave the foundation and you go somewhere else. And the other place you go, you're hoping to find the same foundation. But you can't. It's not the same. It's never going to be the same. You're in a prime area. Perfect for a foundation. And you see, you find this other place and the foundation not that great and you build it still. But you forgot one thing. You didn't learn your lesson with treating the structure of your relationship. So you start building it again under the same mindset on a weaker foundation. And you rush and get it together. And here comes the same result, but even worse, because guess what? Worse foundation. Things start crumbling beneath you. And look at the walls now. You find out you didn't get such a nice person this time. This person is very arrogant, aggressive, sometimes even violent. The other person wasn't that bad. At least he had the foundation. You just didn't treat him. But you're not seeing it that way. You think it's supposed to maintain itself. And then that fall apart completely before you didn't even have to sledgehammer it. It sledgehammer itself. And you turn around and call marriage the worst thing ever. You call the people the worst people ever. I'll never get married again. I'm not realizing, no, you're the problem. You're where everything went wrong. You did not address you as the issue. See, most of us, we're too quick to end relationships without realizing that we are part of what makes it work. We have a responsibility. And I'm going to leave today's show on something I posted a few weeks ago about somebody I had on our IG chat and his story about his parents, his mother, and what his mother went through and where she is now. And it should sum up my point.
My stepfather and my mother have been together since probably about 1988. Right? Remember the first time I came to the States and they were living in New York at the time. And there was a tenant downstairs in the basement. And I knew my stepfather was having a relationship with the tenant. Until my mother found out that my stepfather was sleeping with this woman. Right? Now, I know my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I know her. She's not an easy cookie to deal with. Not at all. My mother never left.
Never left him?
She never left him. I'm living in the house. Never hear them argue over it. Never hear them fight. Right? Years went by. They retired and went back to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them. They're in their my mother is about 77 now, my stepfather's 80.
They're still together?
They're still together.
Right.
Now watch this. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my mother called me one day and said, I need you. I just want somebody to talk to. Some flag of Jamaica. Right? So I'll go and sit down with her. And she said, my stepfather there with a young girl. Right? No, she looked for me and tell me, say, it don't bother the fact that she there with him. She there with a young girl, because she know within herself that what a young girl would do, she not gonna do.
Back.
Not gonna put it.
Yeah.
She knows it herself.
Bad boy.
Right? And it can't face reality. The problem that bothers her is that he lost his way where he never makes sure to respect home. And I asked her, so I asked her a question. Which one can you live with? Can you live with the fact that you're a young girl, or you can't live with facts, other people know? And so she cannot live with the facts that other people know. Right? I'm so okay then. So I asked her, Mommy, why? Right? Tell me why. She says, son, me there with this money from you are 8 years old, right? And you are 41 now.
Mm-hmm.
And we make life together. We go through life hard in New York. We do what we do, we make our plans. All I want to know. Remember that 6 children, none of them are a female. Right?
Wait. So none of them are female?
None of them are a female.
So you marry her with 6 picnic?
Marry her with 6 kids.
Continue, boss.
Alright. She said to me, listen to me, none of them are a female. All of them are big picnic and grow up and have their own life. Right? And he has always been there. And we did this together. Finally make a life with that Jamaica now. When me I pick up myself at 70 something, I got left this money for go buy one next house, for go through all of that. Now better me I'm living in the same house and me can live upstairs and me downstairs. Economically it only makes sense. And we just said that justice I know, me not lie to you.
33 years they've been together. He does his thing. Let's call it a year or 2. Let's call it 5 years. Can you look at those 28 years and probably together for another 10 years? Let's call it 38 years. Would you consider that success or failure in a relationship that's been together for 40-something years and had 5, maybe even 10 years of issues?
So now when you look at that, you said to yourself, look at what they created, look at what they built. Is it worth leaving the marriage because of it? They were together for 30-something years. Yeah. 4 years or 5 years of not so great times. Would you trade that for what you have right now, ladies and gentlemen? That's the question. A lot of people say no. But if you think about it from 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, think back. If you're in your 40s right now, would you have accepted 3-4 years of, I'm not saying accept bad treatment. I'm saying, would you have accepted a mistake or two for another 20 to 30 years of good, great, fun-loving relationship with somebody who truly cares about you? And that's where I'm going to leave you tonight, is that question. Remember, I always say, ladies and gentlemen, always question your relationship. Always ask yourself, as a woman, are you being feminine? Are you being agreeable? Are you being cooperative? Are you being sexy? Gentlemen, are you matching our efforts? Are you always honest? Are you respecting our time and keeping your word? And then are you consistent about it? I want to thank everyone for joining, whoever has watched and listened. I just realized I was being blocked on Facebook. I'm not sure why, but I'll check that out when I get off and see what happened. But I hope you check this out on your free time. As I, again, thank you for joining and watching my program. I wish you my kind of happiness. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for joining a Real Deal Chat with Neil on another Monday night. Good night.